Very good afternoon, everybody. So this is the second day of our presentations, uh, and today we are going to have presentations on literature of the neoclassicals. Sem1 students of batch 22-24 are making presentations. This is the morning session. Just check the sound if it is going there. Okay, so we can see. Yeah, let us check the sound in the live stream. It is going properly or not? See. Yeah. Okay. Let us check the sound in the live stream. Okay, it is there. Okay. Uh, okay, so this, and let me share the screen to see who are going to make presentations in this slot. Yeah, I'm sharing a screen to have a look at the students who are going to make presentations in this session. Okay. Okay, so in this morning session of the second day of presentations, we have these students. Are you able to see? Yeah, okay. We'll have first by Hetal, and Hetal will make presentation on character sketch of Mr. B in Pamela. So Pamela, capital P, if it is the title you are talking about, then single inverted comma in the title. Okay, so that is a very simple thing that you have to. We have discussed this yesterday also. Otherwise, it becomes character Pamela, and with small p, it doesn't make any sense whether it is a name of a person or a text. Second one will be by Gopi. Gopi will read on thematic study of the rape of the lock. Of it should be instead of on. Thematic study S capital. Keywords in the title should be capitalized. Okay. If you have not written yesterday, write down today. Again, I repeat, write down. And I repeat, write down because you will forget and some other will make a mistake. If you will not write down and note it properly, that how to write a title without mistake, then because we want to see that such simple errors you don't make when you write your answers also in university exam. When you write your answers, this kind of simple mistakes are unpardonable for master's students. Okay, so all the instructions which were given yesterday also, I have not seen many of you writing the things. You were relying on your memory, but I always keep on telling, don't rely on memory. You will forget it. I repeat again, you will forget it. And again in the evening, late night, I have to keep on sending you messages after messages to give you a reminder. And it seems like you have hired me as your secretary to remind you everything. You are all IS officers and I am your secretary to remind you that you have to do this work or the another work. Okay, Ghanshyam will read the third presentation on Robert Burns as a pre-romantic poet. Okay, you can put a hyphen between pre and romantic, hyphen between that. Gayatri will read on A Tale of a Tub as a religious allegory, well written. A Tale of a Tub, a title is written in single inverted comma. Okay. After that, Drashti will make presentation on symbols used in A Tale of a Tub. Okay. Bhavyata will read after that on a role of the supernatural forces in The Rape of the Lock. Again, there is a title, The Rape of a Lock, of the lock, that should be in single inverted commas, and the keywords you can capitalize capital R, capital S, capital F for the title. Avani will read next presentation of Virtue Being Rewarded. Okay. Archana will read on Jonathan Swift as a satirist. Anjali's presentation is on a detailed note on Alexander Pope. Okay. And the last one by Aarti is on Samuel Richardson and his famous novel. There is unnecessary apostrophe after N. Yes, unnecessary apostrophe after N. There is no need to put an apostrophe. Samuel Richardson and his famous novels. Okay, fine. You have put it in single inverted comma, though it is not required, but it is okay, still accepted. Okay, so this will be the presentations in this session. As we know that we are collecting all the presentations in Google Classroom. All the students are submitting their presentations in advance of their session in Google Classroom, and in Google Classroom we are making use of a rubric for the assessment. Today is the second day, literature of the neoclassicals. Okay. And this morning session students have submitted their presentations here. Okay. I hope everybody has successfully submitted, otherwise it will not play. Your presentations won't play if it is not submitted. And we have three layers of assessment. First is teacher's assessment, and we have a rubric in Google Classroom wherein several parameters are set to see that students can do self-learning from the way they are evaluated by teachers, and they also can get a guidelines that what is considered as a good presentation. So subject knowledge, where you are able to answer the class questions also with explanations and elaboration. Then your organization of ideas, how logically and in interesting sequence you present your things. Elocution, you use clear voice, correct and precise pronunciations. Audience can listen you carefully. Some of you who has got a very low tone, you have to speak little bit loudly so everybody can listen you. Mechanics of writing, spelling and grammatical errors are being seen here. Then non-verbal eye contact, body language, your enthusiasm to make presentations. As we have suggested you, instead of reading only from the slides, try to maintain eye contact with the audience or even with camera also. Time and again look into camera, time and again look at the people also. Or and also when you are answering the questions, at that time don't look on the screen. At that time look at the audience. You might have seen your screenshots or video recording that your eyes are normally dropping down. You are not able to open your eyes clearly so that people can see whether you are talking or answering or reading from the screen. So that is what whoever thinks you need to improve shall work on this. Last two parameters are about research-based writing. So how well you integrate the sources that you are using to make your arguments in your presentation, and how well you are documenting your things. We prefer MLS style citations here for this. So we insist that you use MLS style citation to document your sources also. So that is uh, the rubric on which the assessment is done by teachers. Then students also are doing assessment of peer and self. We have prepared an online form for this, and on this online form the students are evaluating themselves and each other in the Likert scale of 1 to 5 point score. uh, at the end of the day you all get a chart also about how you are being judged. So once you submit, listen this carefully if you have not seen or not concentrated yesterday. When you submit, you get a link to see the summary of how you are responded. So if you want to, you can every day take a screenshot also to see that how your performance is being evaluated by your classmates, by your classmates here, and whether the graph is changing, whether you are improving or not. So this is how you are being evaluated by the peer group this morning session and in the afternoon also, so that this chart is open. So this gives a kind of a transparency. This is for the transparency. You can check anytime, and you may come to know on everyday basis how you are being evaluated or what is the level of your performance. That also you can see. If you want to record your entire 5 days progress, every day take a screenshot, and it can become a very good way of putting it on your blog or social media post about your presentations being evaluated by yourself and your classmates. Okay? So that is another parameter of doing this. We are doing live streaming of this seminars. It is in hybrid mode, and on number 14, we find this ongoing season of presentation. Semester 1 students are making the presentations. And we had yesterday, we had the sessions live streamed here. So these are what we have done yesterday. And so yesterday's presentations, which are recorded there, and today's is right now going on live here on this left panel, and this will start after 3 hours. Evening session will start after 3 hours. So that is where it is live streamed, and the recording will be made available for future watching also. Okay, so let us start our presentation. We'll start with the first one. So yes, Hetal, you can come and open your slides. You can open your PPT and start sharing and presenting the presentation. Okay. You are going to ask questions. So you also be ready midway or around the when 60-70% of presentation is done. Be ready with your questions so that we can display the questions.
Am I visible and audible? A very good morning to respected sir and my dear fellow classmates. Today is the second day of our presentation, and today I am going to present on a character sketch of Mr. B in Samuel Richardson's novel Pamela. This is my personal details that you can see here. In table of contents, I am going to present some important points. Life of Samuel Richardson, introduction about the text, difference between moral and ethics, good and bad characteristics of Mr. B, unethical behavior of Mr. B with Pamela, and last, the purpose of my presentation. Let's begin my presentation about the life of Samuel Richardson. Richardson was the son of a London joiner. His life period was from 1689 to 1761. The boy received very little education, but he had a talent for writing letters, and even as a boy, we find him frequently employed by working class girls to write love letters for them. He was a keen observer of manners, and his surprisingly accurate descriptions often compel us to listen. At the age of 17 years, he went to London and learned the printer's trade, which he followed to the end of his life. So, Samuel Richardson, an English writer and important literary figure of the neoclassical or 18th century era. Introduction about the text. Pamela or Virtue Rewarded is an epistolary novel written by Samuel Richardson. Epistolary novel means a novel which is written in a form of letters. It was appeared in the bookstalls of London in November 1740. This novel is about Pamela Andrew, whose virtue had suffered in the hands of her overly amorous master, Mr. B. Richardson presented the adventures and misadventures of a young girl who had been taken from her parents at a very tender and young age. This novel, published in 4 volumes, extending over the years 1740 and 1741. So here we can understand that this novel, Pamela or Virtue Rewarded, is about a protagonist, Pamela Andrew, which is only 15 years of age, and our second character, Mr. B, age around 25 to 26, and we can find him correct. We can find his character as a mature one. But from the behavior of Mr. B towards Pamela, we can understand that he was not mature but immature, because the way he became obsessed with Pamela and tried to have an intimate relationship with Pamela. So, in that way, we can understand that his character was an immature. And throughout the novel, Pamela tried her best to keep her virtue safe from his master, Mr. B. What is the difference between ethics and morals? Ethics and morals both are representing in a way that what is right and what is wrong, or what is good or what is bad. But here I have differentiate between both of them, that ethics and morals. Ethics means individual's thought, and morals means socially learned. We are connected with morals, what is socially learned to us. Ethics are reflective and morals are largely unconscious. Ethics, generalized sense of good and evil, and morals, relatively specific and apparently self-evident, desirable and undesirable. And morals are the power of moral sense shows. Ethical principles are general and universal, and morals are specific and situational. So, here is the points about the difference between ethics and morals, that ethics are one individual person's thought, that what according to him or her, what is his or her thinking, and morals mean what exists in our society. That way we can connect the things of ethics and morals. Okay, good and bad characteristics of Mr. B. Richardson's characterization of Mr. B and double purpose in the novel Pamela. At the beginning of the story, his mother, Lady B, dies. He was ready to give Pamela money also. Mr. B becomes a good man who, at all cost, wants to recognize and be good to people, but his intentions were not at all good. In this novel, the character and behavior of Mr. B is a bit questionable. So, good and bad characteristics of Mr. B. From this point, we can come to know that though Mr. B had done very wrong thing with Pamela, he continues try to be with her in a physical way. He tried to, he obsessed with her. He came up with a false marriage plan, and he wants to sleep with her. All these things happened throughout the novel, and how throughout the novel, Pamela tried his best to keep her virtue safe. Unethical behavior of Mr. B with Pamela, that how Mr. B behaved with our protagonist Pamela. Mr. B is a type of character who was unwillingly to take Pamela's virtuousness against her will. He came up with so many false plans. When Pamela was writing letters to her beloved parents, she wrote 29 letters, but two are taken by Mr. B. And here, from this image, we can understand that when Pamela was writing letter to her parents, Mr. B find that thing that what he is writing in her letters. Pamela and Mr. B were not having any kind of relationship. So Mr. B cannot or should not touch and kiss Pamela whenever he wants or wishes. Though last in the novel, Mr. B and Pamela both married to each other, but still from the starting of the novel, Mr. B continue tries to be with her, and Pamela try to keep herself from Mr. B. But Pamela and Mr. B were not having any kind of relationship from the starting of the novel, and so that is why Mr. B cannot and should not touch and kiss Pamela according to the wish of Mr. B. Here I have put three images, famous paintings on Pamela, and these paintings are done by Joseph Edison, who was a famous painter. Purpose of the presentation. So, my purpose of today's particular presentation, that in neoclassical era, why I have selected this particular topic as my presentation, because though the story is of 18th century, but in today's time we can relate these things also. In contemporary times, women are facing the same situation what Pamela had faced and suffer in the novel. My reason for choosing the character of Mr. B is because today the society seems to be full with persons like Mr. B. He can be your relative, neighbor, friend, or anyone. Women badly need to recognize such evils of society, like what happened in the novel Pamela. That first of all, Pamela was not aware about the intentions of Mr. B, but when the things happened more and more, Pamela came to know that Mr. B's intentions are not good, and she informed to her parents, and he also wants to run away from all these things. And in today's contemporary time, we can also relate this situation with women, that how our society is full with the persons like Mr. B, and it can be anyone, like it can be our relative, our neighbor, our friend, anyone. I mean, we cannot recognize them. And but what is important and what is most necessary in today's time, that we need to identify and recognize the people, that are they taking our advantages in a good way or bad way, or are they taking our advantages in what way. So we need to identify them. That is the most important thing. These are my work citations, and now you can ask me any questions.
According to you, what is the meaning of the title name Pamela?
Sorry, can you bit louder?
According to you, what is the meaning of the title name Pamela?
Title. Okay. Yes, because the novel is about the our all about our protagonist Pamela, who continued tried to keep her virtue safe from his masters, and that is why the title reflects. That is why the title reflects that how Pamela tried her best throughout the novel, and that is why the title is of the name of the character, who was the protagonist. Anyone else? Yes.
Uh, Hetal, how his behavior changes towards Pamela.
Sorry.
How he is meaning Mr.
He's
B. Mr.
Mr.
B's
B's behavior.
behavior changes towards Pamela.
Okay, how Mr. B's behavior changes towards Pamela. Okay, so when Mr. B came up with the false plan of marriage and tried to sleep with Pamela, but at that time also Pamela came to know about his plan, and she ran away from that. And after that incident, Mr. B realizes that now should not now I shouldn't do these things with Pamela. And at last, he confessed his love towards Pamela, and that is from that incident, Mr. B's behavior changes towards Pamela. Okay, thank you. Am I visible?
Sharing now.
Share it.
Hello, dear friends. I am Gopi Dervaliya. Today I am going to uh, thematic study of the rape of the lock by Alexander Pope. This is my personal information. Alexander Pope was a central figure in the neoclassical movement of the early 18th century. Pope is also remembered as the first full time professional English writer. Network issue. Interest in his poetry was revived in the early 20th century. He is recognized as a great formal master. Alexander Pope's education supplemented by study with private tutors or priests. At the age of 12, he contracted spinal tuberculosis, which left him with permanent physical disabilities. So, however, Pope was bright, precocious, and determined, and by his teens was writing accomplished verse. Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock is a poem of 5 cantos written in rhyming couplets. The Rape of the Lock, to which the poem's title refers, and the major event of the poem, is the seizing by force of a lock of hair from a young lady named Belinda by her suitor Baron. Pope dedicated the second edition of The Rape of the Lock to a woman named Arabella Farmer, who had once really had a lock of her hair stolen by a suitor. The episode is supposed to have inspired Pope to write his poem. Major themes in The Rape of the Lock are love, pride, religion and morality, female desire, and passion. So, first is love. Pope thinks that love has no importance for the characters in this poem. For the Alexander Pope, the upper class believes only in victory and defeat. Love has no value in their unthinking minds. The poem has also symbolized Belinda's character as a strong modern woman who loves her beauty more than anything else. The society portrayed in The Rape of the Lock seems constructed to deny each other's real feelings. For them, live in relationships were common, but love in those relationships was counted as something old. Second is pride. Pride is one of the major themes in The Rape of the Lock. We can say that the pride of a woman in is natural to all women. Beauty can be without pride, and our dear Belinda handles it best of all. She takes care that no one will go without looking at her with a full glance. Baron decides to take revenge on Belinda by stripping her beloved lock of hair. Baron tried to get Belinda by force but not by marrying her. He tried to win over her but failed, as Belinda's pride, self respect, and beauty were more important for her than anything else. And third is religion and morality. Religion and morality is also one of the major themes in The Rape of the Lock. At the time when the poem was written, England's last Catholic monarch had been deposed. Then England uh, also became once again became uh, uh, Protestant nation. At that time, Protestants bitterly criticized Catholics, believing that Catholics had strayed from the worship of God. And Alexander Pope was Protestants families. Protestants made life very difficult for Catholic families to own a land or live in London. The Pope parodies the hypocritical religious rhetoric of that time and suggests that Christianity is not the best lens. It cannot be used to understand the mysteries of human behavior and self obsession. It is absurd to believe. Fourth is female desire and passion. Pope has made fun of women in this poem. They just think and are concerned about their beauty. Aids alone. He presents Belinda like an epic heroine. Pope says that women do not have a fair chance because they are even more self conscious and limited by society's rules and regulations than men are. Clarissa's speech is a fine example of this attitude and also deals with the situations ideally with a smile rather than doing anything to change it. Here is few lines of the Rape of the Lock poem. And trust me, dear, good humor can prevail when airs and flights and screams and scolding fail. Beauties in vain their pretty eyes may roll. Charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul. Women in the poem are illustrated as being more in control of society than men are. To conclude, the Rape of the Lock reveals that the central concern of the poem is pride, at least for women like Belinda and other social ones found in that society. Pope wants us to recognize that if Belinda has shown all her typical female weakness, then that would be against her pride. Partly it is because she has been educated and trained to act in this way. The society as a whole community is as much to blame as she is, or the man free from his judgment. This is my citation. Thank you. Now you can ask me questions. Yes.
Gopi, my question is according to you, which character's viewpoint is correct about beauty?
Repeat the question.
According to you, which character's viewpoint is correct about beauty?
Yes. In the Rape of the Lock, according to me, um, uh, character of Belinda, like his own beauty is, he thought that he is very beautiful and he is a very good woman in this society, and his uh, character, Belinda's character is very beautiful. Uh, uh, Describe Pope in this poem, "The Rape of the Law."
Gopi, my question is that according to you, whose judgment is right of this poem, Belinda or Clarissa?
Yes, according to me, the in this Rape of the Lock, the right judgment of character of Clarissa, because he tried to understand Belinda. Our beauty is more. Our beauty is more than of our more than woman character of our real character of our beauty.
Music slides.
Now it is coming.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Ghanshyam Katariya, and my topic of presentation is Robert Burns as a pre-romantic poet. And this is my introduction. Points to ponder. I'm going to talk about briefly about Burns, and then he Burns as a pre-romantic poet, and his some works and his poetry. About Robert Burns. He was born in Scotland in the 1759, and he himself said about his life that the cheerless gloom of a hermit and the un- unceasing moil of a galley slave. He was born in a family that was uh, laborers of farm, and his father was a hardworking man, and they rented farms, and every time they get into debts, and so his when he was in a young age, he was working very hard, and he knew about the hardship of life, and uh, most of the time he worked in a farm and knew the land, and so we can say that he was uh, nurtured in the lap of the nature. And not just he was working hard in his young age, but there is a other side that his father was interested in literature, and so he also get into the touch of the literature, and the whole family was uh, uh, literate and knew about literature, and they in a dinner time, in a meal time, they uh, read books together. Burn as a pre-romantic poet. So often they say that the romantic period began with 1798, when Wordsworth published his lyrical ballad. But earlier, 12 years earlier, Robert Burns published his poems chiefly in the Scottish dialect. So he was earlier from Wordsworth, and was also the his thoughts were romanticism, and he chiefly followed the principles that the common people are at heart romantic and lovers of the ideal, and simple human emotions furnish the element of a true poetry. So he was in a true means he was a romanticism poet, and we can see here his poetic skill here in this line. It's epistle to L J. Uh, Here is this line that give me a spark of nature's fire, that's the learning I desire, then though I trudge through dub and mire at play or cart, my mouse though harmly in attire may touch the heart. This is the famous poem of his Red Red Rose. It begins with "Oh my love's like a red red rose that's newly sprung in June." You can read this poem in online. It's available. This poem reflects his romanticism thoughts, and the it's with G Rose. Burn must have had grasp of what we know now call deep time, and he was. And the poem Red Red Rose was a very modern poem if we consider his skill. G. Rose Roy said that one of the greatest song in English speaking world, in my opinion, is "Oh My Love's Like a Red Red Rose." There is almost not a phrase there that some earlier song did not use, but Burns just took dross and made gold out of it. Robert Burns' other poetry, there is other poetries like "To a Mouse" and "To a Mountain's Daisy." These are also the we can consider that they also had the romanticism. The two poems, To a Mouse and To a Mountain Daisy, are as near as Burn ever comes to appreciate nature for its own sake. The other major poetry are like Winter and Yebank and Brace or Bonnie Doom regarded nature in the same way that Gray regarded it as a background for the play of human emotions. This is my work cited. Thank you. Now you can ask me questions.
Ghanshyam, my question is which elements used by Robert Burns most of the time in his poems?
The elements he used most of his learning from the early life that he used the landscape and other things that connected to the nature mostly
Uh, Ghanshyam, in the Red Rose poem, what are the red roses compared to answer?
in the poem Red Red Rose. It's a romantic poem, so mostly it was connected to the love, his lover, or we can say imagine the lover, and then wrote the poem Red Red Rose. So it's a romantic poem, so we can say that it was out of his romantic feelings. Thank you.
So in from this group only Hetal, you have not submitted demographic details. Only you are remaining. All others have submitted the demographic details from this. Only you are remaining to submit. So take your time and submit. Don't submit hurriedly. You may have to see some of the things in some mark sheets or other things. So but today evening, see that it is completed and be careful in the subsequent semesters that none of the works remains pending.
Hello everyone. I am Gayatri Nimavat. On the second day of our presentation, I am dealing with the topic or tale of a tub as a religious allegory. This is my personal information. Today my topics are introduction, then about author Jonathan Swift, then religion aspects in a tale of tub, then false alternatives, and PK and religion. So first, Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift was an Anglo-Irish author who was the foremost prose satirist in the English language. He wrote many famous novels in his life, like Gulliver's Travels in 1726, Tale of Tub in 1704, and A Modest Proposal in 1729. Then the introduction to A Tale of a Tub. That A Tale of a Tub is Swift's first important prose work. It was written during 1619, when Jonathan Swift was living with his patron Sir William Temple, but it was published in 1704. It is a prose satire intended as a defense of the Anglican Church, but it was widely interpreted by contemporary readers as an attack on all religion. Then religion aspects in Tale of Tub. Tale of Tub is written as a religion satire by Jonathan Swift. Here, Jonathan Swift tried to elaborate the situation of his time in this work, and he satired on religion and politics. For satiring religion, he used so many characters and so many things in this work. For example, he uses three main characters, then the father, then the will of father, and the three courts. So, A Tale of Tub was partly intended to attack the religion group that Swift saw threatening the hegemony of the Anglican Church. In this tale, Swift uses three characters, and these three characters, Martin, Peter, and Jack, to represent respectively the Anglican Church, Catholic Church, and the Low Church or dissenters. These are the symbols of religion which Jonathan Swift tried to elaborate. Here in this work, A Tale of a Tub, Jonathan Swift was trying to get the things of three brothers, father and the will of father, and three courts. In three brothers, there were Peter as a Romantic Catholic Church, Martin as Anglican Church, and Jack as Protestant Church or Dissenter, and the Father as God. The will of Father is Bible. Three courts are three religion practices. Then the false alternatives. Jonathan Swift is trying to say that Bible is saying us something different, and in nowadays people are taking Bible in wrong sense. Here in this A Tale of a Tub, in a narrative points of A Tale of Tub, Swift makes a claim about the true practices of Christianity by satirizing the various false alternative in a quote that is given by the father of these three brother. He said that do not change in quotes. If you change the quote, you people are ruining your future. But the three brothers do not understand it, and they changed their quote, and this will be become very cruel in alternating their courts and deviating from their father's will. The three brothers in this story to various degrees are rejecting the Bible as the overarching guide to church doctrine and discipline. Then we find three characters, Peter, Martin, and Jack. The Peter, the brother, who represent the Catholic tradition, then the Martin, who represent Martin Luther, and by extension, the mainline Protestant tradition that Luther is credited with founding, and Jack's reform even more enthusiastically than Martin's. Then we can relate A Tale of Tub with the Bollywood movie PK. PK and religion. Then PK tells the story of an alien who lives in India and ends up questioning religion, dogma, and tradition. Here, the protagonist, Amir Khan, says that he keeps on trying following the customs and ways to find God, though though he seems to have lost his patience as he desperately asks God where he is. Then in PK we find that there God in PK we find that there is a God man who is between us and God, who represent as between us and God. This character is representing. His name is this character is Tapasvi Baba, and he is the between line of us and God. This is never said by God or never said by our Bhagavad Gita. An innate component of this religion ethos is the presence of a deep-rooted cult of godmen in Indian society, which encompasses various faiths and cultural practices. Religion can be seen as a medium in itself. It is sometimes considered to form a channel between the self and God that consists of a set of institutions, authorities, and practices such churches, holy texts, and preachers. Jonathan Swift is trying to demonstrate that the spiritual practices of the Catholic Church and dissenting sects were based on a false interpretation of the true word, the Bible. However, the sweep of Swift's irony in the book and the destabilizing and confusing nature of its changes in satiric persona meant that many of his contemporaries read the tale as an attack of all religion. These are works cited. Thank you. Now you can ask me question if you want. Yes.
What is your opinion about religious superstitions are followed in India?
Religion, superstition in India. Okay. Uh, as we saw in Tale of Tub that God said something and else, and people take it a false alternative. Likewise, in India, in India, we had so many superstitions. India has so many religion, and we had so many superstition. As a recent Navratri, on the ninth day, there were one lady or one man became Kali Mata, and they cut their tongue. And the other thing in lockdown that one man killed his two daughter for for the security of their life. And likewise, so many superstitions are still followed in India. Still, India became more educated, but still we followed so many superstitions. Any other?
Who is next? Ghanshyam.
As you said in the slide that it was written in defense of Anglican Church. So is he fully support of in full support of Anglican Church, or also at some point criticize?
No, he was not fully support of any churches in describing in a tale of Tub, but somehow he was supported to this church. Okay, thank you. He's already there.
I visible? Am I audible? So, my name is Drashti Joshi, and today, on a second day of presentation session of semester one, I'm going to present about a tale of tub, symbols used in a tale of tub. So, here my personal information. Points to ponder. Overview: Jonathan Swift, symbols used in a novel, A Tale of Tub, and a conclusion. Overview. Author Jonathan Swift. Full title: Tale of Tub. Year published 1704. Type of genre: novella and religion allegory. Perspective and narrator: A Tale of Tub is written from a first person omniscient perspective, and it is written in tense. The narrative portion, Tale of Tub, are written in past tense, and many digressions of these novels written in present tense. Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift is Anglo-Irish poet and a satirist. He is author, essayist, poet, and political pamphleter. He is also a dean. He was also a dean of Central Patriarch Church, and until his end of his life, he is a dean of Central Patriarch Church. Symbols used in the novel A Tale of Tub. Will, who symbolized Bible. Coat, symbolized religion. Father symbolized God. Peter, Roman Catholic. Martin as Lutheranism and catharsis. Jake, Calvinism. Father, who represent will fathers will represent Bible. So in first box you can see what Jonathan Swift want to say about father's will or a Bible. He wants to symbolized will as a Bible. Will is represented in this novel as a Bible because in will there is only three things which is given by fathers to his son, and in will fathers give their sons three coats only, and in Bible we say that the religion which is written in Bible is that there are only three things are which is mentioned in Bible, and the sense of control defined as the belief that one master controls and shapes one's life. And in this we can say that religion is actually control our mind and we can say our thinking process. Quote as a religion, which is mentioned in will, that fathers give that three quotes of three to his sons. I compare religion as a three quote. First is Christian religion, Hindu religion text, and Islam religion text. These three all are the different things. And his sons, father's sons, them three are also different things, and they. Christian religion sects. There is a six sects in Christianity. First, it's church. Main three partition in the Christianity: Catholic Christianity, Protestant Christianity, and Orthodox Christianity. After that, the Hindu religion sects. There is a major four sects in Hinduism: Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Shaktiism, and Smartism. This four is very important Hinduism major sects. And after the Islam religion sect, there is only two religion sects in Islam: Sunni and Shia. So these three are different from each other, but they also only treated only pray God as their belief in God. After that, there is one picture which is called as a manipulation of the name of the religion. In this picture, one man is followed, and one priest came to this man and said that Christianity is religion of peace. and this man follow the Christianity. After that, he believed that in this he don't feel peace, and he didn't feel anything. After that, in the end of the things, here in the last picture that shows that finally they claimed down and through court, they said relax, but we can't relax in religion and any other kind of things. After, in the last picture, he say one another priest came from Islam and said that Islam is the peace, a religion of peace, and as per which I said that all religion claimed that in this religion you feel peace, but none of religion say peaceful and anything. In every religion you feel very very, we said that powerful energy put things in our mind and manipulate our minds to follow that religion. After that, the father symbolized as a god. Father in this novel, father is died, and none of his son anyone sees in his father, and also the three brothers can't see their father, and here in this father is not alive, and his sons are not able to see their father. And according to me, have we ever seen god? So the answer is no. No one can see the God. No, we didn't see a God, but we still believe in this. And here is the same thing. The sons never seen his father died, and his father is not alive. So sons can't say that the father said that I am saying this and I'm saying this, but still they follow. In same way, god is there, but we still question it. It is still questionable that god is really exist. After the three sons, Peter, who represent Roman Catholic. Peter is the oldest of the three brothers who feature in the A Tale of Tub. At first, he and his brother get along well, and once they have established themselves in society, Peter is very arrogant being, and he also ruined his court. Martin, who represent Anglican Church. Martin named like King Martin Luther, and Martin is middle-born son of three sons, and he initially respects and obligates his elder brother Peter, despite the latter's increasingly strange behavior. And after that, fathers gave them will and court. After the three brothers are separated from each other, and same things happened in 18th century's church, that three religion from one religion, the three branches are connected with one religion. Bible says that we in Bible, Jesus Christ says that I am the one. Why my religion are three different branches in separated in three different branches. Same as here says that Father is only one, and his sons are separated from each other after fathers give them wealth and will. Jack represent Protestant. Jack is youngest of the three brother. After he is exiled by Peter, he become consumed by hatred for his elder brother and does everything he can to distance himself from him. In the middle of the long catalog of Jack's odd behavior, the story ends abruptly with distance nonella. Nonella means some things are missing. In the end of the story, in the end of this novel, we say that the whole catalog of Jack's behavior and all things happen with Jack's life. We can say that some things is missing in Jack's life. Conclusion: Martin, the middle brother, and Jack, the youngest, find logging together and proceed to look over their father's will again, and they both both try to remove the varieties and unfull decoration from their coats, and Martin patiently and methodically Jake by ripping and tearing. So we can say that Martin, who removed their decoration from his coat, or we can say his things, and religion, his religion, or things that he want to try to mix up with his older brother, and everything happened, but he trying to do these things with patience. And Jack, who ripping his and tearing his coat, or we can say he removed everything from his coat by very aggressively. That's why he is very, he ruined his future from these things. A man dominating by a single passion, the lust of power for its own sake. This quote is by William J. Long, and William J. Long quoted this for Jonathan Swift. After that, this is my work cited. Thank you so much. Now you can ask me a question.
Drashti, what is your opinion about Christian religion sects and Hindu religion?
I don't want to differentiate any religion things, but all religions say same thing. If you come to our religion, you can feel peaceful, and your mind will being to be connected with God. But none of religion said and claim that our mind is very peaceful and we connect to the God, because it is questionable. I said in my side that it is questionable that God is really exist.
As the three brothers interpret the meaning out of their father's will, do you think the other religions do the same?
Yes, I believe that every religions differentiate from their own. We can say the born, or we can say ancient time. I want to give an example of Swaminarayan religion, things with their they define from another. I mean that they have three branches of Swaminarayan's things, and that's why I can say that the main things is that we all are differentiates from other religion, and we forget our ancestors, and we forget our main things that we have to be peaceful. And by that I'm saying that yes, I believe that they differentiate from their ancestors. Thank you so much.
I'm visible and audible. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bhavyata Kukadiya. Today, the presentation and my presentation topic is the rape of the law, the role of the supernatural forces in rape of the law. Here is my personal information. Here is the points to ponder. First point is supernatural power in the text, relation of supernatural elements in life, helicopter parenting, relation of relation of helicopter parent parenting with the text. Some brief information about poem. The poem "Rape of the Lock." The poet is Alexander Poe, which is published in 1712, and after that, Lintot's miscellaneous poem and translate the final version published in 1714. Supernatural power in the text. Sylphs, nymphs, gnomes, and salamanders are the aerial spirits in the rape of the lock. Pope used supernatural power extensively. Machines have insects weeks. They can change their sex and also their shapes. Um, uh, they can change sex and their own shape. They can see unsubstantial and remain in the visible to the eyes. The aerial spirits in the rape of the law are seals, nerves, gnomes, and salamanders. These spirits, these spirits ensure that Belinda is safe and protected. In the poem "Rape of the Lock," Alexander Pope compare these four cells, nerves, gnomes, and salamanders. Cells compared to air, nerves compared to water, nerves compared to earth, and salamanders compared to fire. In this poem, poet Alexander Pope says that when fashionable woman dies, their source dissolves in these four elements. Sales a graceful woman, girl, and the goddesses of air. Nerves a beautiful young girl, the goddesses of mount, forest, and sea. But after that, norms, a creature belong to earth and ugly legendary creatures belong guards in the earth. And the fourth one is salamanders species belong to fire. The relation of supernatural element, the rape of the lock, is the most exquisite specimen of figure work ever invented. The supernatural machinery in this poem is based on Rosicrucian uh, doctrine. According to this doctrine, the four elements are inhabited the cells, nerves, gnomes, and salamanders. Alexander Pope, in his dedicatory epistles to Miss Arabella Farmer, informed that the four supernatural beings, that is the cells, nerves, gnomes, and salamanders, correspond to the four elements: air, earth, water, and fire. Fire, as I mentioned in previous slide. supernatural elements in our routine life. As a human, we believe that supernatural elements are controlled by God, and hence they have something miraculous about it. We consider these elements as a miracle, and these think that there is reason behind it, while it is just coincidence or scientific. In our life, we all are educated, but after that we all believe that some supernatural elements in our routine life. Here is the example of superstition in our life. For example, when someone is going to somewhere, and cat is passing the path and cross a road, man believes that stop some time, because the black cat passed their road. If black cat cross your path, it means the black cat is going to somewhere. No, don't believe that we have some bad in future time. We can correct this uh, rape of the law in helicopter parenting. In the text, aerial spirits are behaving like helicopter wandering upon Belinda's head. This behavior has a term called helicopter parenting. The best way to describe helicopter parenting, also called cosesting, is hyper involvement in the child's life. This We can connect this movie, so helicopter Leela, to helicopter parenting. In this movie, the actor Kajol is a mother of the man, and she never make her boy alone. Whenever child go, she is with every time with his in his child. When his boy going to picnic, this actress Kajal is also going with his in his picnic. Is a very not good for children. Because of helicopter parents is a parents, while pays extremely close attention to a child or a children's and problems, particularly of at education institution. Relation of helicopter parenting with the text. In helicopter parenting, parents don't let their children free in the same way in the text. All spirits surround Belinda's and make sure the safety. In psychology, says that because of this helicopter parenting, some children also have some anxiety, lack of confidence in their own life, because of some helicopter parents don't give them a space, and because of the helicopter parent, they don't grow in way which they have to grow. This is my work citation. If anyone have a question, please ask me. Yes.
Do you think helicopter parenting has bad effect on children?
Yes. When a helicopter parent's child is a child, but when she grow, is sometimes it's bad for a child, because when a helicopter parent every time he's with his or her child, it in his growth a very bad way, with they don't grow in his way, because of every time helicopter parents are with this his or her child. So some time of we can say, and psychology also say that some children are face anxiety, depression, and lack of confidence, because of they don't have to improve their confidence of own self. Anyone?
Bhavata, my question is that what is
Can
your
you
view?
speak
Uh, what is your view on helicopter parenting? Is still exist?
what? No, still not insist of every children. When helicopter parents are with his children, his or her children, uh, not all time is insist. Sometime is insist, but every time don't want our children, his or her parent with his or him. Okay.
No, she is asking exist, not insist. Does
Exist.
this kind of parenting still exist or not? That is what is asked. Well, but still, this your presentation has very loose points, that how supernatural elements, rape of the lock, and helicopter parenting. How are you connecting that? That is still not getting clear uh, here. So there is a word hovering like helicopter. How do you connect that with helicopter parenting? It is completely different thing, it seems. So in your presentation, it is not connected well.
Am I clearly audible and visible? Very good noon to you all. I'm Avani Jani, and today I'm going to discuss about virtue being rewarded. Here is my personal information. Today I'm going to deal with the points: epistolary novel, brief introduction of Pamela Andrew, sexual exploitation of Pamela and its outcome, Pamela marrying Mr. B, mentality and statements of rapist, psychology behind marrying own rapist, and citation. Here is the definition of an epistolary novel. Epistolary novel, a novel told through the medium of letters written by one or more of the characters. The advantages of the novel in letter form are that it presents an intimate view of the character's thoughts and feeling without interference from the author, and that it conveys the shape of events to come with dramatic immediacy. Here is the brief introduction of Pamela Andrew, which is the protagonist of our novel. She is a very young, 15-year-old, and belong to a working class, but she is a very beautiful, elegant, and she serves as a maid servant in one of the rich house. She is highly skilled at expressing herself verbally. Obviously, we can see it through the letters of hers to her parents in this novel. She becomes a victim of a sexual harassment. She was headstrong and had the courage to protect herself. This is being mentioned in the novel. She was a mature and understanding. She is concerned with morality. She would be more ashamed of dishonesty than poverty. Sexual exploitation of Pamela and its outcome. Pamela was constantly abused sexually by her master. She was pretty young to bear this trauma. Obviously, she was only 15 years old, so she cannot take this harassment easily on her. Obviously, no one can. She even pretended to faint in order to save herself. She had a good presence of mind. She feels exploited. But ironically, by the end of the novel, she marries the exploiter. She has very good presence of mind that she somehow tries to defend herself, and she saves her virtuous. Uh, Here is the thing, Pamela marrying Mr. B. There is a class conflict between these two individuals. Pamela is from lower class and Mr. B was from higher class. Pamela marries Mr. B because she is in love with him, despite of the fact that he has tried to exploit her multiple times. Here is the mentality of the rapist, which I have taken from the one news article. The gang rape of a 23-year-old Jyoti Singh Pandey in Delhi, India, on December 16, 2012. 13 days later, she died in a Singapore hospital from injuries caused by insertion of an iron rod by her six attackers. The authors first analyzed the remarks of politicians and religious leaders that invoked religious nationalist ideals to diminish the responsibility of the attackers, to exonerate the traditional Hindu ways of life, and to blame the victim. During this time, I recall the memory that I was watching YouTube, and there was a suggestion of a video in which Kiran Kher was speaking about this case, and on the other hand, Smriti Irani, not the same case, but there was a case of a rape case. On the other hand, Smriti Irani was posting her cooking videos and cooking photos on Twitter and Instagram. So there was a candle march everywhere, but she is busy with her own schedules. Here is the statements of rapist of Jyoti Singh Pandey. I have taken this from a screening of a BBC documentary of Nirbhaya. I would really like to cite this, but this is not available online as it is a ban in India. So I have taken notes from the class, and here is the statements of rapist. A girl is far more responsible for rape. Our Mukesh Singh says that girl is far more responsible for rape. Housework and housekeeping was the domain of girls, and they had no rights to roam or visit discos and bars at night. They are doing wrong things and wearing wrong clothes. Here is the last statement that personally triggers me more. He also added that the rape have not been done purposefully, but it is for a lesson for Jyoti to not roam with a boy till late night. If he had not given this lesson,